Hello, and welcome to Fandom Encounters Dice and Demigods, a D&D campaign that takes place in the world set forth by Rick Riordan in his Percy Jackson series of novels. Now, these worlds are full of representation, adventure, Greek gods, and incredible heroes. All things that make up the perfect D&D campaign. So, how could we resist? Dice and Demigods begins in the big house of Camp Half-Blood. Our player characters, having just arrived, are part of orientation and meeting each other for the very first time.
Hey there, campers. My name is Bobby, and I play Lyra Ember Tamore, the Lost, birth name Esme. Lyra is a daughter of Nemesis, goddess of justice and revenge. Lyra doesn't know her age, but she created her name as an anagram for a lie to remember after being orphaned and given to a circus in Gibsonton, Florida, known as the Sunshine Circus. She came to the Camp Half-Blood after the circus mysteriously burned down, definitely not related to the fact that Lyra was being replaced as an acrobat. Originally, Lyra didn't understand the different quirks and personalities of her teammates or other members of Camp Half-Blood, but by season 3, she's always working to find her place in the new kids, both in and out of battle. As a monk rogue multiclass, Lyra enjoys running across the battlefield, usually to the closest spellcaster so she can shut them down as quickly as possible with stunning strikes and sneak attack damage. Out of battle, Lyra is not afraid to get into arguments with her fellow teammates. Often enough, she and Callie have to be in a truce so that the party can continue moving forward. Lyra's biggest weakness is her brother, Ethan Nakamura. The other sibling of the Nemesis cabin, Lyra wants to break his connection to Kronos and help him change his ways without using deadly force. For now, the two seem destined to be opposites, and though Lyra is very flexible, there's only so much she can bend to accept.
Hello there, I'm BJ and I play Captain Calistreet Wiseman Giant Heart McGivens the Cursed. That is her full title. She is a child of Hera and an adopted daughter of Hecate. She is currently a Hexblade Warlock and a Divine Soul Sorcerer, a lover of all things magic. She has been a paladin and a druid in the past, but like many who are young and adolescent, changes happen. But she is a 5 foot tall, half black, half Desi Indian girl. She's got long black hair in a ponytail, ripped abs. She is extremely intelligent, but unfortunately it's like to the point of being a know-it-all. She loves to pick on the other people in the party. It's a very bad pastime of hers that she's trying to kick, but some habits are just really hard to break.
My name is Matt Finnemore. I currently play the character Galen, the Hidden High-Rise. At the moment, he is blonde with orange eyes, 14 years old, a light domain cleric with a hint of ranger. He found out that his father passed, Helios, while trying to find a way to save his mother from an illness. That's when Apollo took him under his wing. But even though Galen was trying to find different magical ways to save his mother, it wasn't enough. He also wanted vengeance for what happened to his father. So during their time in the underworld, he lost his connection to Apollo and hearing an ominous voice in the back of his head. Unbeknownst to him, it was Kronos saying that if he really wanted a way to save his friends, to take his power. But when the powers were getting the best of him, he decided to destroy that power. Season 3 starts him off defeated, drained. Galen just wants peace. He misses the earth. He misses nature. He misses the ability to use his bow. And in reality, he just wants to go home.
Hi, my name's Alan, and in Dice and Demigods, I play General Peter Drakenslayer Denshino, but you can call me Petrie. Petrie is a child of Vulcan and a legacy of Aphrodite, which basically means he's Aphrodite's grandchild. He's 17 years old, from Brooklyn, New York, 6'2" and 205 pounds of muscle. He's got olive skin, golden brown eyes with flecks of red, and auburn hair. Now, while Peter started in Camp Half-Blood, found out that he was actually meant for Camp Jupiter, being of Roman descent from Vulcan. Through our ongoing adventures, he's become a legionnaire in the 3rd cohort of Camp Jupiter under his friend and Centurion M. By our 3rd season of this adventure, Peter is a multi-classed fighter, barbarian, and artificer. He's begun to fit more into the supporter-protector role of the group and trying to keep his friends alive. He fights beside his used-to-be aunt and now steel defender, Serafina, who is a mech wolf. His hobbies include cooking, drinking tea, and weightlifting. His favorite color is mauve. Now, while arguing comes easy to Callie, Lyra, Galen, and himself, he will defend his friends to the death, and is doing his most to give his whole life to his new family.
Initially, our demigods took place in the normal camp activities. Capture the flag, meeting a mushroom druid named Webby, a bit of hazing to figure out their godly parents, and warnings of cursed prophecies from Chiron himself. You know, demigod stuff. Along the way, they met campers like Raglan O'Shea, the swashbuckling head of the Hermes cabin. Kingston, the runic sorcerer head of the Hecate cabin. Gwen Stevens, the head of the Ares cabin. Ryan Wu, the non-combatant head of the Aphrodite cabin. Celestina Warbanks, an artificer daughter of Athena. And Marion Banal, a goth-loving child of Selene with healing powers and a love of eyeliner. Now, when a quest prophecy is given at the nightly campfire, 3 seasoned campers step up. Head of the Athena cabin and war mage, Nakawa Infuene. Her girlfriend, Victoria Bellevue, a daughter of Nike barbarian with a celestial bronze prosthetic arm / shield. And the head of the Demeter cabin, Benton Trelawney. Now, these 3 went into the woods, but the new kids followed their instincts and charged right in after them. They saved Benton from snakes and located Nakawa unconscious in a druidic grove in the center of the forest. They also found Victoria in the clutches of a son of Nemesis, Ethan Nakamura. He was in the middle of a ritual to summon Apollo, but the demigods intervened and Victoria was saved. Ethan escaped, but they captured his accomplice, a son of Tyche, Chifume DuPont. When another prophecy leads the demigods towards Florida, they set off on their first true adventure together. After stopping a Celtic minor water god and helping a hunter of Artemis, Maria Espinoza, they reach Florida and immediately find a young girl, Heather Garfield, with magical powers. They protect her from a vicious fighter / vampire / sister of Marion, Becky Banal. They also tell little Heather that she is a half-blood, a daughter of Tyche herself. As Heather and her dad head for Camp Half-Blood, the new kids locate a sun temple hidden beneath a retirement home. The very same home that Galen Highrise last remembers meeting his godly father, Helios. Inside, they learn of the Sun Council, an interfaith group of gods who share their power to keep sun gods of all faiths alive. However, they also discover a conspiracy against the council by Ethan Nakamura, who hopes to hunt them down and steal their power for himself. Now, Ethan was successful in assassinating Helios, and now Aurora, the Roman goddess of the dawn, Akicha, the Inuit goddess of the sun, Alanis, a Celtic solar deity, and we, the Lakota personification of the sun, are in danger as well. To find the gods, the new kids have to learn to use the Labyrinth, a series of living tunnels beneath the Earth's surface that has been growing and changing since its creation by the inventor Daedalus. They befriend Blackbeard, Medusa, and even the Fates before taking the plunge into the maze to try to save the Roman goddess of the dawn, Aurora. After arriving in Aurora, Colorado, the demigods are tricked by a persuasive blonde demigod calling himself Slim. When they see through his deception, the new kids find Aurora, already aware of the danger to her life. After realizing that Slim is actually the one hunting the goddess, they seek out his stronghold, finding it protected by a Roman cohort and a band of black-clad warriors with the symbol of Nyx on their armor. By cutting through their enemies and befriending one of the Roman soldiers, an intelligent and neurodivergent girl, Emmeline Ramirez, they learn Slim is actually former praetor of New Rome, Octavian. They defeat him before he can find Aurora, and a sun god is saved. All this time, Petrie has felt a pull to go to Camp Jupiter. As a child of Vulcan starting off at Camp Half-Blood, it has been a little odd. So with Emmeline in tow, the gang uses the Labyrinth to make it to the camp that trains Roman demigods and legacies. They offer to help the praetor Hazel Levesque scope out a frost giant threat to the camp, after discovering that Hazel and her most trusted centurion, Claudia Vical, have the Lakota sun god Wee in protective custody. Callie, Petrie, Lyra, Galen, Em, and Claudia. The new kids with Emmeline and Claudia venture into the woods to find these frost giants. There, they discover Hurricane, who once wished to join the Norse pantheon of gods, and now seeks to destroy the camp and capture Wee for Ethan. Now, the new kids stop Hurricane, end the frost giant invasion, Emmeline becomes a battlefield centurion, Camp Jupiter is saved, but at the cost of Claudia's life. The new kids also learn that at this very same time Camp Half-Blood is in danger from Becky Banal and a horde of undead soldiers. Unfortunately, the only way to get there on time is for Wee to sacrifice the last of their powers and allow the new kids to travel from one side of the country to the other. Thanks to the sun god's sacrifice, the new kids arrive in time to protect their friends. But in the chaos of the battle, Benton Trelawney freed the imprisoned Chifume, and both escaped the camp. Focusing on getting rid of Becky, the new kids team up with Marion to defeat their terrible sister Becky and save Camp Half-Blood. With their first adventure behind them, the new kids begin to devise a plan to save the remaining sun gods, the Inuit goddess Akicha and the Celtic god Alanis. Now, Becky told them Alanis was in Tartarus, so the only way forward is down. The next journey into the Labyrinth brings with it new friends. They meet the god of fear, Phobos, who assists them in heading deeper into the Labyrinth, and a fellow demigod, the son of Hephaestus, Xavier Specs Green, and a steel defender, Ellie. Specs helps the gang find the entrance to the underworld, their first step to get into Tartarus. The new fairy person of the underworld, Stella, helps them cross into Hades' domain. Now, when they reach Hades' castle, the god of the dead is impressed by their honesty and commitment, as both Will Solace and Nico D'Angelo stand up on behalf of the new demigods. Hades agrees to help them in exchange for them collecting 5 pearls of power from the rivers of the underworld. Along the way, they have run-ins with the Styx. Petrie learns that his deceased demigod father now works for Hades. Callie makes a pact with the goddess of magic, Hecate, and gets to say goodbye to her deceased mortal mother, Dr. Kira McGivens. They expunge Nyx's control from the goddess Selene. Galen gets tricked into making a deal with Kronos. They learn that all of Ethan's allies that they defeated in the mortal world have been resurrected in Tartarus. And in the end, the new kids impress and befriend both Hades and Persephone. Their ordeals in the underworld certainly left their scars, but the new kids have no time to rest before it's time to jump into Tartarus itself. When they land in the pit, they find it dark and foreboding. They fight their way towards the nearest source of light, a hotel in disrepair. Inside, they find a group of snake-like sisters who all look up to the eldest, Kreia. Kreia is fascinated with the mortal realm and terrified of her mother. Now, when they realize she's talking about the weaving mistress, Arachne, it all makes sense. The new kids stay to help defend the Lotus Hotel and Casino from a swarm of forces sent by Nyx, before laying the foundation of a plan to help Kreia escape Tartarus, Arachne, and finally make it to the mortal world. The demigods also set off to find a new ally, the giant Damocin. They help him defeat the Minoan Draken and follow a trail to the keep of Becky Banal, looking for the captured Titan Bob. The new kids carve through Becky's forces, and then finally defeat Becky herself for good. Bob is brought back with a Revivify, and they escort him and a converted Nyx warrior named Tyler to the safety of Damocin's abode. And for the first time in a while, the Titan and Giant are reunited. In exchange for passage to the mortal world, Bob agrees to join the new kids as they fight Nyx. As they close in on her domain, the darkness overtakes them. She tries to play mind games and stage the magical darkness to prevent them from getting close to her, but they eventually defeat her sorceress form and manage to impress her in the process. She agrees to stop helping Ethan and offers them guidance after Lyra shows her more empathy than she's received in quite some time. She points them in the direction of the doors of death and warns that Ethan will be there waiting with an army. The new kids strike down Hurricane, Chifume, Arachne, and swarms of other enemies with help from Bob, Damison, Tyler, and Claudia. In the end, Ethan does manage to draw Alanis' power, and the sun god is lost. But with his allies decimated, Ethan plane shifts away, followed shortly by Octavia. Not resigned to their fate, the new kids use the doors of death and escape Tartarus, landing safely on Ogygia to plan their next move. And just like that, you are up to date on Dice and Demigods, ready to jump right in with Season 3. The Percy Jackson books have always had something wonderful for anyone, and we like to think that maybe our campaign can do the same. So find us on Twitch to watch us play live, like and subscribe here if you want to stay posted on YouTube, or find us on Instagram for fan art and maps and magical items and anything else you might need. And rest assured, you're all demigods to us.
We look forward to this adventure every week, and we hope to see you there soon, campers.
Now, I hope to see you around and enjoy the adventure. Bring on the monsters.
Enjoy Season 3. I'm excited.
See ya, campers.